What's up, guys? It's your boys Wokey back here with another Chris Watts video, and these two videos were sent to me by viewers of yourself, like you are probably watching at home. And this is the Chris Watts, the Mistress, but another video, Chris Watts, Neighbor, CCTV analyze what's not in the shadow from a YouTube channel called Kaz. I was apparently told that I need to watch it. Don't say nothing. But the description reads, why does everyone hate the Mistress, and how deep does her involvement go into the Watts case? Now, this was posted 6 years ago, around the time of the murders happening. So she was on the case as soon as it happened. Hopefully, she's also debunking some commonly held misconceptions about the footage. There's a lot of things that are going up in the air about this footage and so forth. Did she go out the front? Did she go out the back? Did she have help in the front? And I honestly want to know the truth and so forth as well. So we're going to watch it and see what we can find out through this channel called Kaz. Don't forget to, on my channel, don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and share. All you have to do is hit the white bar on the bottom right, hit the bell icon next to it. So when I do post videos like this one, you guys will get that little ring notification that I posted that video. And then you guys can watch, comment, like, and share. And then go over to Kaz, give her some love, subscribe, comment, like, and share. And with that being said, let's get into the videos. So the first one we're going to watch is Chris Watts, the Mistress. Why is she hated so much? Well, us Zawokians can tell you why, but I would like to see what she says.
My name is about to be like slandered for probably a while. I don't know how long it's going to take to heal, but I would not be surprised if it's going to be hard to go out in public sometimes for a couple of years, and that really hurts me.
Well, we're on year 7, and she's still one of the most hated women out there.
I'm just like, this is a horrible, horrible thing. Like, how dare you, you know? And people aren't going to understand that. You know, they're going to say, oh, you know, you're the woman that had an affair with this man who took out his whole family. And I take a step back, and it's just like, I didn't know!
Why do people hate NK? Let's have a look at why. First of all, we've got that she's got a voice that would remove lime scale. But that's neither here nor there, really. That's just one of those things.
I love her speech. I don't know what it is, but I love the dialect of overseas. I don't know what it is.
The real reason I think people don't like her is
from the UK?
Because what she says and what she does are two entirely different things. So therefore our narrative doesn't make sense, and it makes her look guilty as sin. So let's have a look at what she says and what she does.
She deleted her phone records because she was hurt by Chris.
We said that, but we do have some selective deletions, don't we? We have the can cops trace text messages, the difference between text message and text data, etc. All of those searches were deleted, so were you upset with them as well? I can see how it would be distressing to have to search for things on Google. I mean, I know there's some days I just can't be arsed.
She didn't know Shanann was pregnant.
Okay, so I'm not 100% on this one, but I'm pretty sure that if you looked up the Facebook pages of Chris and Shanann on the 4th of August,
you saw it.
2018, it was almost impossible for you not to know that Shanann was pregnant at that point, at the very least. So I'm not sure I believe that either. It doesn't really make much sense for the narrative.
Agreed.
And I'm going to leave out the searching in 2007 because I'm not entirely sure that wasn't a typo on the discovery. But it doesn't really make any difference to what I have to say today anyway. So there you go.
Whenever his kids were home, she made sure she wasn't a presence in his life.
So no, because you went out for dinner to the Lizzie Dog and then back home for a bit of...
Oh, yeah, that's right. Like, she had Chris get a babysitter so they could go out to the Lazy Dog and have dinner. He was in the presence of his 2 little girls. That just made a lie.
Housey father on a night when his kids were home because he had to leave them with a babysitter to spend time with you. You also voiced your frustration a little bit that you had to wait for his kids to go to bed before you could speak to him. But, you know, don't let that get in the way of what you know, the other things that you said.
I like her charisma. She had respect for their home, and it was something or somebody else's life. She walked in the home. She walked upstairs.
You said that you didn't feel comfortable being in someone else's life, but you're all right to sleep with somebody else's husband. The two things are like so far apart from each other that you're saying one thing and doing another thing, and you're so far wrong you'd need a map to find your way back from that one. So nope.
Oh, I love the little kitty in the background. You wanted him to fix things with his marriage.
Really wanted him to fix.
But you sent him nude photos while he was in North Carolina fixing his marriage.
It. And you never, you distanced yourself from him. So, but you went on holiday to the sand dunes with him around about the end of July, which is when you said he was going to try and rekindle the flame with Shanann. Also, it's kind of hard to rekindle the flame with somebody when somebody's sending you multiple nude and semi-nude selfies, and also involving themselves in his dispute with his family regarding Peanutgate. So you said that you wanted him to fix it, but did you really? Because your actions don't indicate that you did. If you'd wanted him to fix it, you would have just made yourself gone.
Amen,
that
sister.
picture altogether. But you didn't.
It wasn't like, let's live together, let's get married and have kids. Let's just cut the mom out. That is true. That is true. As they say, there is truth within the lies.
This might be my favourite claim of all. So you googled marrying your mistress. You googled man I'm having an affair with says he will leave his wife.
Why would you say that if you knew that they were divorcing?
You googled wedding dresses. And my favourite thing that you did that completely contradicts this.
Is it just me, or is she like a new version of Mrs. Doubtfire? I love how she is. I don't know what it is. I've never seen this or met this woman, but I like her channel.
Statement is, yeah, you should pawn that ring. It's a nice rock. When she was missing.
That's effed up.
Itself. I don't need to say any more. I think I'm going to need a cup of tea in a minute.
You were careful about the baggage.
So you've got to have
Hold on. You were careful about the baggage the people you had relationships with were bringing with them. Wait, hold on. Said you were careful about the baggage the people you had relationships with were bringing with them.
So you've got to have a 401k if you want to be with me. I need to know your credit is good. Your wife and kids are no problem.
Can we just appreciate how attractive that face is? Ha!
Okay.
Such a funny gal.
So the reason that everybody hates her is because of this dishonest behaviour. She does one thing, says another, and because of that, how can you believe anything she says? it makes her look dishonest. So because of that, we've got people who think that she was involved in the murders, etc.
Some shape or form.
To be honest, there's not enough evidence to say that she was involved in the murders yet. There are no follow-ups done. There were questions that should have been asked that weren't. I can only assume that the police know what they're doing. However, I will say this. I don't think she was involved with the murders. Did she apply pressure to Chris to leave his family? Absolutely. We're not that serious, she said. But then she's Googling wedding dresses. And you know, the apartment was for him, not for me. Not for me. But she was going apartment hunting with him.
Mm-hmm.
Why would she need to do that? That seems like a very coupley thing to do. You know, you're getting together, you're moving in together, all of that stuff. So everybody's left a bit confused.
We want answers.
Because we don't know what to think. Obviously, nobody likes a slapper, and she has behaved like a slapper. She knew that he was married. I also think she knew that he was pregnant. And one of the strongest reasons...
Alexa, what is a slapper?
I have one definition for slapper in the context of United Kingdom, a promiscuous woman.
Oh, a slapper. I did not know that. A promiscuous woman. Interesting.
Reasons I think that is because she and Chris, at their interviews, both said exactly the same thing. And you know how she mentions, you know, I just had a few quick things to say to him before I cut him out of my life. They both said, well, if she'd known about this, she would never got involved with me in the first place.
That's a lie.
And it seems odd how they both said the same thing. I mean, it may mean that it's true, but it does seem to me like during those conversations towards the end there, they might have just been planning how to protect her and how to make her look less crap. It didn't work because now we've got a situation
you can dress up a piece of poop all you want, but it's still a piece of poop.
Where, because she wasn't honest, because she didn't tell the truth, people are now saying that she's possibly an accomplice or a murderer because she wasn't honest in the first place.
I mean, lying to police officers is a federal crime.
If Nicole is involved with these murders, I'm sure time will catch up with her and we'll all know the truth eventually.
God does.
If she wasn't, and she was just so ashamed of applying pressure to a married man, of being...
But if she felt ashamed because she was doing that with another or married man, wouldn't you want to clean your slate and show that you weren't involved? Right?
With a married man with 2 children and a pregnant wife, that she deceived and avoided the truth. You know, we've got the whole thing about, I can remember his macros and putting his macros into the phone, and I can remember how many pounds he lost. But
she can't remember a 100-minute phone call or where she was at on the morning of the murders.
I can't remember anything that I said on Sunday night. Selective memory. You know, and telling the police officer as well, you know, no. That's another thing both her and Chris both did. He went, no, God, no. No. Telling the police officer, oh, you know, this is not about Sunday, we're talking about Saturday, just want to make sure you got your days right. That's a copper. Not just a copper, but an FBI agent, I think. And if that's the case, then, you know, just let them ask their questions. Don't tell them what they can and can't ask. Don't tell them who they can and can't speak to.
Right? The witness or the victim is telling them who and who not to talk to.
you've kind of got no control over that. However, like I said, I'll end with this. I don't think she was involved, but mainly because despite really blurry pictures getting sent around the internet as proof,
well, we're hoping that those blurry pictures will actually have somebody being like, oh, yeah, let's talk to her. Let's go talk to Chris and see if she was involved. Like, we're hoping that's going to happen, but right now, it's pretty much fallen on deaf ears. You can't beat a horse when it's already dead, kind of thing.
there isn't any that we know of that would absolutely nail it. But the reason that we suspect that she's involved is because from the first second she's been dishonest. Even in the first ever interview where, or maybe first or second interview where they met her at her place and it's just a recording, she's saying, you know, did you love him? No. But later on she says yes, and I meant it at the time. Again, we've got this sense of shame stopping her from telling the truth about what she's done. But is it shame because she's behaved like a bit of a strumpet? Or was it shame for other reasons? If you've enjoyed the video, please subscribe.
I definitely did enjoy the video. Hopefully you guys did too. Go over to her channel, give her some love. But let's get on to the secondary part, which is the CCTV footage analyzed by Miss Kaz. And what is in, or what, how did they say it? How did she say it? Let me see. She says, what's not in the chateaus? Let's take a look. I forgot to put on. Do, 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 do. Do, do.
Hello! Thanks for clicking in. So today we're going to have a thorough look at the security footage from outside the Watts house. I wasn't going to do this, but the reason that I am doing it is because before I start,
I didn't want to look at the footage again because we've looked at it over and over and over and over, but it's definitely interesting to see how other people react to it and to see if it reflects the same as my views or your views, or if it's different.
I wanted to get something out of the way. There are a lot of examples of things on YouTube that I've seen that are affected by the following phenomenon.
And she posted this 6 years ago.
Have a look at this, and then we'll do that, then we'll look at the video, and then I'm going to tell you what I think actually happened that night as Chris was packing his car.
Casbat. Pareidolia. The tendency or perceptive, a specific, often meaningful image in a random or ambiguous visual. So our minds make things up that might not be there. Pareidolia. That could be a case too. Who knows? That's up. Oh, the puppy's face. The puppy's face. Jesus inside some fur. I really hope that's not what I think it is. A moon with a face. The following is an example from the security footage. Do you see the accomplice? I do not. I see fuzziness. You can look at anything and your brain attempts to find something in it. The scientific explanation for some peoples is pareidolia, of the human of the human ability to see shapes or make pictures out of randomness. Think of the Rorschach inkblot or the Rorschach. I'm butchering that. Inkblot test. Pamela Ferdinand. Thanks for watching. Now back to the real life.
Right then. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch that. It's just something I had to get out of my system. It's been with us since day one, since the first time I saw one of those videos. And if you don't believe me, have a crack at it yourself. Zoom right in on something on the video footage that you think you might have seen, and then, or that you didn't, just a patch of it randomly.
I didn't do that, but...
And look at it. If you look at it for long enough, you're going to see something. That's what your brain does. So when I was looking at this footage, what I tried to do was try and avoid that completely. It'll happen to me as well. It happens to everybody. It's absolutely normal to think that you see things, and it's what your brain does. It tries to make sense out of things that it's looking at. So you're going to see something in it because there's nothing there for it to see. It's just the way it is. So when I was looking through the footage, what I decided to do, I'm not going to go through every little thing because that's dull, let's face it. So what I'm going to do is look at the examples of things that I thought were significant. But first of all, I'm going to share something with you that almost gave me a heart attack.
Oh.
Let's start with that.
The following footage was taken from the security footage uploaded by Momly Ramblings blog, which we've watched, and I definitely do watch her channel from time to time, as this is my most trusted source of pure evidence from Weld County. Full video link is in the description. If you focus on the top left where we expected to see the movement, it looks like two people leaving the house.
So right, at this point I'm freaking out and I'm thinking, oh my God, have I missed this all along? And then I thought, okay, chill. And I had a look at Nate's flag throughout the same time scale, because I was thinking it looks like the same person, but you see that one walks out and then another walks out, and I was completely doolally tap.
But I also think that the video footage has been altered so much or contradicted, like we don't know what to believe anymore.
Anyway, some would say that's a pre-existing condition, but so what I did was I focused on Nate's flag, and I'm going to show that footage for you now. And as you can see, there is a jump cut. You can quite clearly see both the flag and the plant move. So what then happened was I determined a place for where I was going to start the footage, which was at that jump cut.
So why is there a jump cut?
Before I start looking up things of significance, what I wanted to do was just show you two pictures. These are just stills from the video. They're not very clear, as these things tend not to be, but they show Chris Watts walking out of the house and also walking past the near side of the truck. And I wanted to just point out that on both photographs he has the same outfit and footwear. It's not until later in the video, when he's been in the house for a while, that he finally comes out in his work boots. But he's wearing the same footwear. It's unclear if it's white trainers, white shoes, or actually socks that he's got on, but they are the same in both. Have a look. Okay.
But why would you have shoes on and then have boots on? Does that make sense? I don't think that makes sense.
So the first thing of significance to me is that Chris often comes out of the house and then walks around the front of the truck to gain access to that side of the car's door. When he does, the light is reflecting in the wing mirror and flashing through the bushes, and then he'll walk back up into the house on the near side. So he goes down the far side and up the near side, and he does that quite a few times. If you watch the video yourself, you'll see him doing this, and I think it's just simple concealment. He knows what can be seen on Nate's camera, and I'll show you an example of when he forgot to do that.
But then he looked so distraught when Nate was like, oh, I got camera footage. You want to take a look at it? He's like, what? I think he forgot about it, or didn't know about it, or I think he forgot about it. That's just me, but
in a moment. Just have a look at this one first though, because I think at this point what he's doing is he's prepping the car. So I don't think that he put the bin bag.
What'd you say? Truck. For truck's sake. Sorry, peeps. Oh, not car.
So I don't think that he put the bin bags on Shanann's head and feet. I don't think that the children were in them either. I did initially, but I don't now, and there's a reason for that, but we'll get to that later. I think what he did was he laid the bin liners on the floor of the rear of the truck to place Shanann on.
Oh.
That's just what I think, but the reasons for that will become clear. But I think that's what he's doing during this process, so he can't be seen. He's aware that he can't be seen on Nate's truck if he goes behind that bush.
But you can't tell me in the front of your house where the car would have been at, where we've seen the road that comes down, that you would not be worried about somebody coming down and he's carrying out a 5 foot, what was she, 440-pound woman, dead weight? I don't know. That's still, I have discrepancies on.
And he'll walk round with something he probably shouldn't have, and then back round the front of the truck, and then put whatever he shouldn't have into that side of the truck. I don't know why that side of the truck. Could be there's something already in the far side of the truck, and there isn't room. But he keeps doing this, so have a look at this clip. It's not the only time he does it.
And again, it's all with interpretation. Like we watched this door opening up, and then you see the lights, and then lights go off, and he's away, and then it's like, and for all we know, the truck might have faulty wiring, so it's going on. Like we don't know everything.
Where would you like to put your petrol can? I know where I'd like to put it. This next clip shows him
petrol can
completely forgetting that he can be seen and putting the petrol can into the side of the car where...
Are we talking about petrol can? Like gas can?
The truck where he can be seen, and then worrying about that, going back into the house and going, oh no, I know what I'll do. I'll go back where the can't see is, and I'll go round the truck and I'll put it in the other side. But then I believe he takes it out again because it does spend some time on the floor. The reason that I say that is not because I've imagined the shape of it, but because you can see a red bit under the truck. I think it's gone down under the floor, and I think later on, when he's picking things up, I think that is one of the things he's picking up. He has anything that he's loading his truck with on the opposite side, on the far side. So have a look at this, because it is actually quite amusing to see the panic and the stupidity of this man. But yeah, you can see him, the panic in him, because he's realised he can be seen with this petrol can that he shouldn't really have.
Walks around. But see, then, but when he's over here, the light goes out. I'm so confused.
Now, I think that the most significant part in the video that I noticed was when he appears to be pulling something backwards out of the house. And he appears to be a little further away than he usually is. So, and the reason you know he's backwards is, well, was that a Freudian slip? The reason you know he's moving backwards is because you can see the light shine on his face. I will come back to the light later as well. You can see it shine on his face, and you know that he's pulling backwards, and he appears to be making that kind of movement. I'll show the clip for you a couple of times over, but it's probably best seen for yourself, because it actually... I've taken a shot of the corner of the video, but it actually looks better on the bigger screen. So please do have a look at it. So it's my belief that when Chris is doing this, he is pulling Shanann out to the car, out to the truck, and it's quite fun.
And you can't tell me that nobody's seeing this. That she's being dragged out the front. I don't I call BS, man. I call.
Fast. And it seems to be that he's moved further away from the far side of the truck. But there is like a flat shadow. And what you'll find is every time that Chris Watts walks out of that house, the light is here. So Chris Watts comes out here. And what happens is, because Chris is between the light, the light, this is a terrible demonstration by the way, the light and, you know, in front of the light, every time the shadow of Chris comes that way. Like that. Have a look at the video and just watch every time. And not once in the whole time I've looked at those did any of those look like children. There is one time where he's clearly stood there and then he bends down to pick something up, but it's just what he's loading in his truck. So he bends down to pick it up, but it's my firm belief that other than his deceased family, only Chris Watts is on this footage. So how did he get out of the house so quickly? After he's done this, he then spends a minute at the cab of the truck. That's the longest that he spends down there, and I think what he's done is, I think there's something visible in the house that he used to move Shanann. At first I thought maybe a trolley or a wagon or something like that, but on the body cam footage there is a wheelie bin. What I call a wheelie bin, I don't know what other countries would call it. Like
A dolly?
A large trash can with wheels on the bottom that you can tip up and pull backwards. And I think he put her in that to transfer her from the house to the truck.
So she thinks he put her in the trash bin.
And then tipped her up into the floor of the truck. And that took him about a minute to do that, to tip her up into the truck. Sorry, I'm getting upset thinking about it. I'm trying to be objective. And then...
See, everybody else, a lot of people have different theories. Just, it's interesting to watch, but again, we can't say for fact. We have to say alleged.
And just immediately, you can leave that there, but I think he pulled it down the grass as well, rather than the path, because when you pull a bin along a path, it makes a loud rattling noise. Anybody who's taken that kind of bin out knows this.
Oh yeah.
So I think he pulled it down the grass and then across to the truck, and I think that's how he got Shanann from the house to the truck. And another reason I think that is because you can see a wheelie bin in the garage with the lid off, which is weird because that would do my head in, having the lid off it. That seems quite spotlessly clean. And he had plenty of time after he'd done this to clean it. And the people who came in with the dogs noted that the house smelled like chemicals as well. So that could be part of the reason why. Like I said, it's just my opinion, but it's an opinion based on what I can see.
So this is the wheelie bin that she's talking about. Interesting. Used as concealment? That's what she's talking about. Is there anything in it?
So the last clip I'm going to show from this footage is when Muppet Boy, I call him Muppet Boy because he's just a puppet. No emotion.
Chris is a Muppet Boy.
It's being operated or it's seen it somewhere else. He pops back to the house, and I think he pulls the truck out of the house and realises that the garage door is shown open. Maybe gets an alert on his phone and has to go back to check it. It's still shown as open, but
he never goes back. That's the thing.
He has to check that it's locked because he doesn't want the house left open because, well, he's still got cleaning up to do.
Somebody else was there.
He
never went back.
I mean, he doesn't get to do those, thankfully.
He never went back because Nate's camera never goes off, because Nate even said that the camera, when he left, doesn't go off until Nicole Atkinson comes and they can see the car in the driveway. So that's for a fact that he did not go back.
So in a nutshell, that's what I think happened. I think he used the bin liners to try and protect the floor of the truck. I think he used a wheelie bin to move Shanann out. And I think he put the children into plastic containers. and it could be very.
This is the first time, or no, this is not the first time I've heard that people thought that the girls were put in containers. Again, I'd like to know your thoughts. If you agree or disagree, we can debate and be civil and not be hateful or disrespectful towards the ones that lost their life. So please comment your thoughts if you agree.
Very likely that he disposed of those elsewhere. It's a bit more difficult to hide a wheelie bin in a truck, but the little plastic containers, very likely not. So that's what I think happened. I don't think there's any accomplice in view on the footage, and I think if there was an accomplice left in the house, which is still a possibility, that they would have to have exited the house another way and
Through the back.
possibly would have had a key to the property. The door or window that they left would have to have been closed from the outside. And that would have been something that Chris would have arranged with them. So I'm not saying that it discounts a possibility of an accomplice in this crime at all. What I'm saying is, I don't think they're on the footage. In fact, you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb and say I know they're not on the footage. So anyway.
But sensors were going off when Chris was gone, though.
That's my analysis of that security footage. But please do have a look at both that and all the body cams. I've posted the links down below. Mummy Ram.
I do like this woman and how she dissects the two things that we talked about. One being Nicholkessinger being a slapper. She doesn't think that she's involved, possibly. But again, there's a lot of information that does kind of point that way. But again, it's all with interpretation from each and every person. I might say that she was there. You might say she wasn't. The next person says that, oh, she might have been there, but she might have been the cleanup crew. Like, there's a lot that can be with interpretation. Again, post your thoughts down below. Don't forget to go over to Miss Kaz. Go give her some love. Subscribe, comment, like, and share. You know the deal. Again, thank you guys for being here. Please take care, be safe, and as always, keep nerding on. And we will see you guys in the next video. Peace.